Hello everybody, this is Gabby Turner. Welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back if you've been here before. I'm very glad to have you either way. I hope you enjoy this reading. One of my viewers suggested a career reading. She didn't say specifically what she wanted to know about career, but I thought, you know what? We can just do it as a general career reading and leave it up to Spirit to tell us what we need to know. Sometimes the questions that we want to ask about our lives are not really the questions that need to be answered anyway. So this might leave more room for your guides to give you the information that they feel would be most beneficial to you. And that is, just so you know, that is the way that I approach readings. That's the way that I perceive it to be, that when I'm doing a reading for someone, I'm allowing that person's spirit guides, angels, and highest self to speak through me because they know you much better than my guides do. My guides, angels, and highest self, I also call upon always to be present when I'm conducting readings because they help support me in the process of being that vessel through which the message can come through. So they're always here to support me as well. I always really enjoy calling upon Mother Earth and Father Sky as well. For one thing, I think anytime you're doing any sort of psychic work, it's very important to remain very grounded and rooted. And so I call on Mother Earth in particular to help support me in that way. She's very helpful to us as well because anytime we have any sort of toxic energy that builds up in our aura or our energy body, then she can take that and renew it and revitalize it and make it into new, fresh energy. So it's sort of like she can recycle that toxic energy that sometimes gets gunked up within us, and she can make that into something useful again, just as she does in so many other ways. When plants die, or plants or animals die, and they go into the ground, and then they are turned into something new that actually can bring forth new life. So I just always like to be mindful of Mother Earth and all that she gives to us. And of course, Father Sky helps to open us up to greater consciousness, helps those kind of lightning bolts of insights to come through to us, those downloads of higher awareness that we're all opening up to more, both collectively and individually, right now at this point in history. So all right, so of course we've got three options here, as you can clearly see. If you haven't already made your choice, I appreciate you listening to the intro. It's not necessary, but that's nice that you would find what I'm saying interesting enough to do that. But we have these three options from left to right. They're numbered, obviously, 1, 2, and 3. And you can go to your reading once you have gotten in touch with your intuition about which one is meant for you, and just use the timestamps below to skip right ahead to that, and I'll see you over there. All right, welcome to everybody who chose reading number 1. This was the Honey Cow site, and the key phrase here is break through your limits. So maybe you've been allowing yourself to be limited, but it's only because you're allowing that to be the case. All right, let's see what else we've got here. Okay, meditation for clarity. 5 of Swords from the Everyday Witch Tarot, King of Cups, and the Empress. We have Mother Mary, Divine Guidance, New Project. I've got a lot of cards actually, and I might save some of these for clarifiers and then towards the end get into some of the rest. Okay, so I'm actually getting that for some of you literally, we're talking about career, but career and life purpose are very intertwined, and there is a particular sort of career, being a mother, that although mothers don't get paid for that work, it is labor, it is hard work. It's very underappreciated, both financially and otherwise. And I think that some of you either are mothers or perhaps you're wanting to be mothers and you feel blocked in that area. Now, I know not everyone who watches me is a woman, so that may not be accurate for everyone. And occasionally this message has come up before in other readings and people leave snippy comments about things like that. Well, you know, that kind of attitude just isn't necessary. You know, someone out there needs this message that they felt limited when it comes to being a mother. And I say that because we have both the Empress and the Mother Mary card. You are receiving guidance, but I feel like your guidance about this new endeavor, perhaps of being a mother, having a child with someone, is blocked. Maybe there are other people who are interfering and making you feel nervous, or maybe your own mind is just very chaotic about this and you're not able to receive the messages that are coming through. And, you know, the simple answer here is that if you can get your mind calmer, either through meditation, mindfulness, what I find most helpful to me is quiet contemplation, just getting really quiet. It's not necessarily meditation, but I'm not forcing my mind to think about anything in particular. I'm just allowing my thoughts to flow. Sometimes this can be done most easily if you have some sort of soothing environment that you're in. Listening to sounds of nature, being out in nature helps to calm you down a little bit. You could even look into a pool of water or into a candle flame so that your mind is not so distracted. Your mind isn't clinging on to certain things to think about. It's just becoming more like flowing, like water, and you're just allowing your thoughts to meander as they will. That might be, for some of you, a way that this guidance can sort of float up to you and that you can actually get a lot of clarity that way. If meditation is something that you do find very useful and that comes easily to you, then it is that. It also could just be mindfulness, which is just trying to be present and in the moment rather than let your mind pull you to the past, ruminating over the past, or pull you to the future, worried about the future, what might happen. So just being calm, present, and in the moment will give you greater clarity about, you know, what this means to you to perhaps have a child. Oh, and I just noticed on this new project, it says, like a newborn baby, your actions are growing your idea into reality. So I feel like you have thought about having a child and, you know, being a mother or a father, you know, whatever that means to you. But yeah, it's just about getting quiet so that your guides can kind of help you to understand this more. Let's see what else we have. We have the Magician. Yeah, I definitely think maybe scrying for some of you, like, you know, looking into a bowl of water or a body of water, like a lake or anything like that, could actually open up your mind a little bit to this divine guidance that's trying to come through. If that doesn't seem like something that would work for you, don't worry about it, but these two images definitely make me think that that could be a possibility. Or even just being near water, if you can manage to do that, could sort of help to clear your mind in some way. We also have the King of Pentacles and the Emperor. So I feel like some of you are wondering if you'll have the financial support available to you, or just the support from a partner in order to make this happen. You know, maybe you don't have a partner to have a child with, and so you're just wondering, like, you know, how can I make this happen? How can I manifest having a child when I don't have a partner to help me bring that child into the world, or help me raise it? Because I feel like you may feel like you need that you need support. You know, you may be feeling like, I don't want to do it alone, but I'm also not sure where this support is going to come from. Let's see what else we have here from the affirmators, and if I need to pull some clarifiers, I will. Practice makes perfect. Nothing is wasted. No experience is ever wasted, even if what I'm working on turns out to be a total dumpster fire. When I spend time on a project, it's always good practice. Plus, it makes me better at making whatever that thing is. And if what I was trying to make was a dumpster fire, hey, then I'm already 5 steps ahead of the game. Well, at least 98.7% of the time. Oh, it's always good practice. Anyway, these cards are silly sometimes. Well, always. Always they're silly. Yeah, I think this is saying some of you might be feeling like maybe if you are in a relationship, you're not sure if it's going to get to the point of the two of you having a child. Like maybe the relationship won't go that far. And if you're not in one, you're thinking like, you know, I've wasted my time in relationships. We never had a child, or it didn't go that far. They're just saying all of these experiences you've had have helped you to learn what you want out of life, and they've helped you to learn how to have solid relationships so that when you're ready for this, when the timing is right for it, you'll know how to approach a relationship in the best way so that the two of you could be very good parents together. We also have forgiveness. It's okay. I forgive myself unconditionally for any and all shortcomings, imperfections, foibles, fumbles, flops, or failures of my present, past, and chances are, to be honest, future. I might not be perfect, but I am a perfect being, and I will continue to be perfectly imperfect with all the joy and acceptance I can possibly muster. Giddy up. Yeah, some of you, I think, are feeling like you have to be the perfect mother or the perfect parent. And that just isn't the case. Nobody can possibly be perfect. If you're thinking it has to be all or none, that you have to either be perfect at being a parent or you're just not even going to try at all, then again, going back to this initial message, you are limiting yourself. This isn't a limit. Being imperfect is not a limit to you being able to be a good parent. But your expectation of yourself that you have to be perfect is a limit. So you can just adjust that mentality and be a little bit more forgiving and understanding of yourself. Just start. There's an exciting new project winking at me, and it's now up to me to slip a note into its locker and get the ball rolling. I might be tingling with nerves, but it's time to bulldoze those fears and just start anyway. Today I vow to take the first small step in this process dance, and remember, the project winked first, XOXO. I feel like if some of you are single, you do sense that there's someone that there is like a flirtation or a connection with. You know, they're winking at you in a sense, like you both can kind of tell like, hey, I think there's something here. And if you've been looking for that person to start a family with, it's sort of like, I think it's sort of like just trust the process, you know, move in that direction. Let's see if there's any further guidance here. About that just start. Can you clarify that for the viewer? Okay. Yeah. Okay. They're saying that you're a little bit afraid to put your toe in the water because you're afraid of the burdens and the expectations of doing so. But if you don't wade in, if you don't put your toe in and wade in a little bit, you're never going to reach that potential. You have to start somewhere, even though you're scared that it might be too hard. It's just never going to be possible unless you take that chance. It's, you know, I'm being reminded of this metaphor of, you know, when you're trying to get into a swimming pool and you know that the water is going to be cold. Well, the thing is, you know, you step your foot into a little bit and it is cold. And you're like, oh my God, this is really cold. maybe you even jump out for a moment. But eventually you try again, right? You keep wading in a little bit. Eventually you'll dunk your head under. And before you know it, you're splashing around and having so much fun and enjoyment. And everything is so full of joy. And your wishes for fun whatever you wanted to get out of this experience of being in the pool, it is fulfilled. Like the World card, it's all about fulfillment. But if you hadn't taken those first steps and overcome those initial difficulties or hesitations or fears, then you could never have gotten to that point of splashing around and having so much fun. And I think that they're saying that this is what you need to do in your love life. We have the King of Cups coming up here twice. I feel like there is someone who you really care about, and you can tell that they care about you. It might be a little bit more on the initial stages of things. And, you know, the King of Cups is a kind of a father energy also. So if you're interested in being a father or having someone being the father to your child, I feel that there's very good energy with this person that could be quite possible. But I think your fears are kind of holding you back. So just keep taking those little steps, and it will make more sense, and it will become more comfortable in the process. Any final thoughts? Any final thoughts for people who chose number 1? Your logical mind is holding you back from taking a journey, and they're just saying you can do it. You know, life is a journey. We think we have a destination in mind, perhaps. For you, it's like, well, I think I would like to be a mother, but I'm not sure. So that's okay. You have a potential destination in mind, but the thing is, it's a journey, and sometimes along the way, life might take you in a different direction than what you expected. But you enjoy the journey, you continue taking the journey, and in that process, you uncover where it is meant that you're supposed to wind up. You don't have to necessarily know what's going to happen in order for that outcome to happen. We get really fixated, especially in the tarot reading, tarot watching community, about what's going to happen. Even like sometimes there are these pick a cards about what's going to happen in the coming week. You know, like, and I do these kinds of readings sometimes for myself, you know, what's going to happen when such and such event takes place or whatever. I'm not judging that, but I'm saying if you're doing that, if you're so consumed about having to know that the outcome is going to work out before you even begin to make the steps, you're just not going to get anywhere. Your mind is creating all of these barriers that are holding you back from achieving so much. So, yeah, I think, you know, let go a little bit of the concerns of the mind and be more in tune with your heart. Follow your heart a little bit more. And I know that expression, follow your heart, it sounds a little bit trite, but again, it's back to that quiet contemplation. When you quiet your mind and really get in tune with yourself and in tune with your soul, everything will just make more sense. You'll know what it is that brings you happiness. You'll know what it is that you feel passionate about and interested in pursuing. And so, look, she's putting her foot in the water, and so it will just come natural, and you'll feel so joyful and blessed for the opportunities to try something out and put your foot in the water and explore something emotionally. Explore what makes you feel passionate and on fire for life, and that life is really, you know, vitalizing and enriching. Keep going towards that. That feeling will be drawing you forwards. What is that? That's your heart guiding the way. Your heart is your greatest source of intuition and guidance. What just feels right? There's something that's feeling right, but your mind is getting in the way and making you too scared to follow the direction that your heart is trying to point you in. So I really hope that this reading was helpful to you guys. I want to thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments how you felt about this reading. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Hello everyone who chose reading number 2. So as you're watching this, you'll know if this really was meant for you and if your intuition allowed you to choose correctly. If this reading brings you clarity, and if it doesn't bring you clarity, then that's okay. It just wasn't meant for you, and that is fine. But the stone you chose was kyanite, and it says deepen your perspective. So there must be something related to your career that your perspective needs to be widened or deepened about. So let's just look more into it. We have give love. Seven of Wands, Temperance, and Judgment. I feel like some of you are feeling sort of defensive when it comes to your career. Maybe there are particular people related to your career that cause you to feel sort of defensive. And it may be, like I said, you're feeling like people are being very judgmental of you. Maybe people you work with, or you have certain ideas that you want to pursue career-wise, and you feel like people are judging you for that, or people are judging the work that you're doing, something along those lines. So definitely you're feeling like you have to stand your ground and assert your boundaries and say, listen, you can have your opinions, but ultimately this is my choice. And it's just, I feel like the message is about, when finding your balance in this type of situation is about, trying to remain in that loving place, even when it's difficult to do. Now, that doesn't mean letting people walk all over you, but it also doesn't mean that you have to react with hostility either, even though it might be very tempting to do so. Let's see what else we've got. Open your heart to love. So we have more about love here. That opening your heart more to love will actually be helpful to you when it comes to your career life. Have confidence in your creations. Yes, someone is definitely judging your work, what you're doing, what you're creating, and it's really stressing you out, I feel like, and it's causing you to get imbalanced so that you're not trusting yourself. Also, it might be making you pretty angry. But what you're doing is successful. And your guides are saying, who cares what these people think? They don't really understand what you're doing anyway, or they have their own issues going on. They're saying, just don't worry so much about that. You're being successful. You're doing the right thing, and you will be more successful. Also, you're very deserving of this success. You, like all of God's children, deserve happiness, health, and love. There may be some haters out there who don't like you being successful, and maybe that's where some of their judgment is coming from. And I think that your guides are trying to ask you to get a little bit more in touch with a sense of unconditional love when it comes to these difficult people. The more you open your heart and pour your love into your creations, the greater their life force energy. It also could be because you're sensing that people are judging you. It's kind of like keeping you from loving the things that you're doing, because you're like, well, so-and-so doesn't like this, and now it's sort of interrupting your own flow of loving what it is you do. But trust in the power of God's creativity, which is being manifested through you. Other people have their own ego reactions to it. We all have ego reactions. Unfortunately, that's a part of what it means to be human. We all struggle with our egoic reactions to things. And I think that's what's going on with these people who are acting this way. And it's keeping you from trusting that you are bringing forth, that you are being a true vessel of God's creativity, and that you are doing that very successfully. So trust more in the divine, in your guides and your angels, and God, the universe, however you want to think of it. And this is going to deepen your perspective of things so that you're not allowing yourself to lose that love for what you're doing. Yeah, for some of you, it's so hurtful to you, the way that people are judging you or reacting to you. It's causing you to lose that sense of love for the very thing that you're doing. And it is something that you truly do love, actually. Yeah, you're really good at something. You're very successful at something that you're doing. And these people who are looking at you critically and judgmentally, you can allow yourself to get caught up in that, but it's going to keep you from your own happiness. And you also just have to recognize that these people are disconnected from their happiness and joy as well, and their own creativity. They could also open themselves up to be vessels for God's creativity to flow through them. And then they would be connected to their joy and they wouldn't feel this need to cut other people down. Unfortunately, these people are not so connected to that. And because they can't see how to connect to their own joy, they cut you down. So I think you're just being asked to see it more compassionately, see it for what it really is, and don't allow these people to make you think that you're not truly very good at what you're doing. You have a very vivid imagination as well, and you need to honor that. Your way of doing things is very unique, and maybe other people won't get it, but that's okay. They don't have to. I revel in the wondrous, mysterious, most beauteous power of my imagination and let it whisk me away on a right-brained romp through all things nonsensical. Seuss plus Wonka style. I am an off-road adventurer, playing in the upside down, glow-in-the-dark woods of possibility. There is no no here, only whoa and flow, and holy moly, here we go. Was there something in that brownie? Oh, that's funny. Okay, so yeah, I think like, what if Dr. Seuss was so different and did things in such a different way? You know, like what if people had judged him and, well, I'm sure people did, but what if he took that to heart and kept that from continuing to pour out this wonderful, whimsical creativity that he had? We would really be missing out on a lot if he allowed that to happen. And I'm sure some people were like, well, that was a stupid rhyme, or, oh, that illustration is pretty dumb. Why are you talking about these weird creatures? Like, ew, that's weird. You know, I'm sure there were people who reacted that way to him. Just because there were some a-holes out there who did that, and everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but you don't need to be a troll or an asshole about it. Just have the opinion. You don't have to bash someone over the head with your opinion, but I guarantee you he received hate. And what if he had let that get in his way of doing what he really was so talented at? You know, your guides want you to see it this way. What would the world be missing if you allowed yourself to be disconnected from doing something that you're very skilled and talented at, and that brings so much joy into the world? You know, we also have power, so I feel like you need to stand more in your power when it comes to these types of judgmental reactions from people. Got a slight case of the overwhelms that no soup can cure? Fear not, the power is within you. This card is here to remind your inner warrior that you can and will conquer whatever creative blocks or obstacles come up. It's time to lace up those booties and jump over all that overwhelmingness. Then keep running till the whelm is far behind you. Take it in tiptoe steps if needed. After all, you don't eat a whole sandwich in one bite. So why should your visionary endeavors be any different? Unless your visionary endeavor is an art installation where you eat a sandwich all in one bite, in which case, bravo. You know, again, I just get this feeling that you have your own kind of unique way of doing things. But also, I feel like with these two cards, you're someone who has a lot of ideas. You probably have so many really cool ideas that you just don't have the time or energy to truly pursue all of them. And I think you probably get overwhelmed by all of that, you know, just trying to take advantage of all these great ideas, but not really having all of the energy to do it. If that is the case, what do your guides, what would they suggest would be helpful here? King of Swords. They just are saying don't get so much in your head about it. Don't get so anxious about it, because your anxiety about there's so much to do and not enough time, that is creating a blockage. It's just, again, it's about a shift in perspective. They're saying, you know, you have lots of options, but again, go back to following your heart here. Let your heart kind of guide you. Which of those options actually feels like it would make you the happiest? Don't think about which of the options is going to get you the most applause, because I feel like this judgment that you're receiving makes you think that way sometimes. Like, well, I should just do the thing that I think people will like most. No. Do the thing that makes you the happiest. Focus your energies on that so that you won't get overwhelmed by all of these other great ideas, but they may be ideas that are mostly intended towards getting other people to like what you're doing. And that actually, again, it disconnects you from your love of what you're doing and your passion. And it drains off some of the power that you need to really support the things that do make you the most happy. We also have curiosity. Actual school may have taught me that studying is kind of boring, but the school of life proves that playful as heck exploration plus around every corner inspiration abound. So today I'll brush away any been there, done that dust from my eyes and brighten them with a fresh and glossy coat of curiosity. Excelsior, a new expression I'll start using as soon as I find out what it means. Yeah, let me know in the comments. What the heck does that mean, Excelsior? I don't know. But I feel like they want you to be a little bit more playful too. Like, get curious with yourself. Think a little bit about, what does feel most interesting to me? What really makes me feel like I would be excited to pursue it, no matter what the outcome was. That just the joy of doing it would be enough. Yeah, again, like, what do you love? Maybe do some journaling about it. Don't let your head lead your heart. That's just a very strong message here. Because our head, it's so easy for our heads to get mired up in anxiety and worry. You know, especially when we're concerned that people are going to judge us. Let go of those mental concerns and just follow your heart. Follow what you love. What brings you the most happiness. That's where your success is going to be. You've already had success, I feel like, but you're going to have more of it the more you connect more to your heart. And you're very deserving of it. So don't let those haters get you down. All right. I really hope that was helpful to you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Hello to everybody who chose reading number 3. Let's see what's going on with you guys. Your stone is the beautiful opal, one of my favorite stones, and it says, feel all your feels. This makes me think about the fact that opals are one of the most fragile stones. They break easily, but they have so much fire and passion in them. So I think that you guys could be kind of like sensitive people, but sensitive people with a lot of passion. So you're emotional, and you need to feel all of your feelings. That's going to help you in your career right now. So we have plant the seeds. Interesting, because this was also saying here, use this stone when you have something that needs to get moving, a project, a relationship, an energetic block. I feel like, maybe there are some certain seeds related to your career that you have not planted yet, because you need to be in touch. You might be blocking some of your emotions, but they're saying feel those emotions, because those are like this spark that will get these seeds started. Or if you have planted the seeds with something in relation to your career, it will help to germinate the seed, get the seed sprouted, so to speak. Lots of metaphors here today. I like metaphors. I'm an INFJ. I think that's an INFJ thing. We look for metaphors everywhere. Oh, whoops, we'll get to that in a moment, sorry. Okay, we have the High Priestess, okay, the Chariot, and the Hierophant. There's definitely major energy right now related to your career, because we have 3 major arcana. There's something significant that you've either just started or you're thinking about starting. And it's something that makes you feel happy and grounded and safe. But I feel like you get a little bit lost. You're not really sure exactly which way to go with this. Your intuition is very strong. You know that this is a career path that you're meant to take, but you're just like, I don't really know which way to go, though. I feel that for some reason your emotions, we'll look more into it. There's something about your emotions that help to spark your understanding, though, of which way to go. It also might be that you need to do some research or ask some people for guidance, people who already are maybe involved in this career path, and see what they would say about what your best next steps would be. People who already have some sort of experience here. Okay, and we have, vision board. It might also help you to get started and figure out how to move forward with this if you created a vision board, or maybe you've already created a vision board and you need to go back to it and look at it a little bit. But it says create a board with images and words that inspire you. Yeah, there's sort of like a spark in you that needs to be reignited. The spark is there. You have this kind of knowingness that this is what you're meant to do, but it needs to be kind of sparked up a little bit in some way. Yes, sensitivity. Okay, there we are. Your sensitive feelings are your muse and inspiration for your creativity. But some of you, those of us who are highly sensitive people, it gets so hard being such a sensitive person sometimes. It's a difficult life to have, but it's such a gift at the same time. Sometimes we can try to push our emotions away because we don't like the emotions that we're feeling. And there's just this continued guidance here that these sensitive feelings you have are actually helping you to understand whatever this career path is. This is what, this helps you to, this helps to inspire you. It helps to bring back that spark and to kind of get things going a little bit more. All right, and with the Hierophant and agent or manager, your work expands its reach as you partner with a professional who can help you. So yes, I feel like you're going to benefit and understand which way to go if you seek out someone who can either be an agent or manager, or just someone who is a professional in this career field already, because they're going to have insights that you don't have. And maybe you're afraid to ask, or you just don't know who to ask. I feel like they're just saying, just take the first steps at reaching out to someone and communicating. Maybe you're afraid of rejection, or afraid that they won't respond, or afraid that they'll even give you bad advice. But listen, your intuition is very on point here. Your intuition is here, but there's certain knowledge that you don't have. So if someone gives you bad advice, your intuition will recognize that. So you don't have to worry about that. And then, gosh, if they don't respond, who cares? But you're going to have to reach out and reach out to people and keep doing so until you do get a helpful response. Otherwise, you won't get it. But your guides definitely feel like that's going to be so helpful to you to get some sort of expert in your field to help you figure out what the next best steps are for you. Yeah, Lover's card is about making choices. It's also about making very helpful connections. There is someone who you are meant to connect with in this career field who can help you figure out those next steps, but you have to reach out. You will find this person. They will be very loving and helpful and supportive, so trust that. And if the first time you reach out to someone, it ends up not being the right person, or they don't respond, just keep doing it. We have 8 wands here. If it takes 8 times, that's how many times it's going to take. Maybe you'll take 8 times 8 times. Gosh, I hope not. I highly doubt it. But, just keep trying, because definitely there's someone out there who will be so very helpful to you. This is someone who, whether they recognize it or not, is also very intuitive. So they're not just an expert in their field. But yeah, this is someone who, a lot of people are spiritually connected and they may not perceive it that way. But this is someone who is, that their intuition kind of guides them as well. So not only do they have wisdom that has come from the experience of working in this profession, but they are also very intuitive. So this is going to be someone who really is very helpful to you. But you have to take that risk of reaching out. Sometimes it's hard. Is that not the truth? I accept that the creative process is not always easy. I know art doesn't magically rain down from the sky while artists lay around on beanbag chairs and muse about sitar music. Making something from nothing is sometimes very hard, and that's okay. I'm happy to roll up my sleeves and slog through the hard parts, knowing it'd be a whole lot harder to live an uncreative life. Some of you may not think of yourselves as creative, but I just think this is going back to the fact that it's hard being an emotionally sensitive person, but also it's hard for you to reach out and try to connect with this helpful person. But do it anyway. You know, when we take those first steps that are difficult, we can't reap the benefits until we take those first steps. So it's hard, but do it anyway, and it will be worth the effort. Rebellion, A. I high-five my inner rebel and invite them out to wreak some healthy, law-abiding havoc. You know, some laws are not just. Some laws are meant to be broken. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm not telling you to break the law, but wink, wink. My inner rebel has a way of turning things inside out and making them way more interesting. We're talking coloring outside the lines. Boom. Modifying a recipe. Bam. Wearing stripes with plaid. Mic drop. I promise I'll buy you a new mic. My inner rebel made me drop it. Is it damaged? It looked nice. So I don't know what this is saying, really. I'm going to draw a clarifier. I mean, you probably have some level of a rebellious personality, and maybe that's what's blocking you from reaching out for guidance as well, because maybe you have a little bit of an anti-authoritarian streak. And yeah, so let's see what this... Yeah, there are just certain hang-ups that you're going to have to let go of, you know. I do think some of you have an anti-authoritarian streak, and even though there's someone out there who's going to be super helpful to you, you don't like having to look up to someone who has that much power and prestige, because maybe you've had bad experiences with people in power before. But this is a major opportunity for you, so it's just your guides keep encouraging and encouraging and encouraging you to do this anyway. Support, exactly. You're going to get so much support from this person. I hereby call a dream team of support into my creative life. I'll only work with the most perfect of collaborators, for me, and stack my projects with positive, constructive attitudes. If my workspace is in a treehouse, I'll hang a hand-painted sign on the door that says, "No jerks allowed." If my workspace isn't in a treehouse, well then I guess I better halt everything and build a treehouse. I feel like they're just saying, listen, if you reach out for someone for guidance and support, an agent, a manager, or someone just who has professional expertise, and you end up not liking that person, that's okay. You don't have to keep working with them. So again, that's not something to be afraid of. All of these fears could keep holding you and holding you and holding you back, but they're wonderful seeds of potential here. So you're just being encouraged to go ahead, take the risk, reach out, find someone who can help you, and you're going to be reaping such a harvest when you do. This person is fertilizer for your already excellent ideas, skills, and talents. And you need that fertilizer to really help you fulfill your true potential. Okay, so that was really cool reading. I hope that was helpful to you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I would appreciate if you could give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. That helps me out a lot. If you're not currently a subscriber, I would love to have you. If you want to get discounts on personal readings, freebies, and other fun stuff, sign up for my newsletter. The link is down below in my description box. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.